This video is sponsored by Wing Technology, your ultimate flight sim hardware solution.
Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing very well. Today we're looking at the free DCS mod for the Etendard 4 and the Super Etendard. This is the plane you can see on the screen. We're covering it because A, it's just an awesome piece of naval aviation history, and B, because of the role it played in the hands of the Argentinians firing Exocet missiles in the Falklands War. So let's get started. You'll need to do 2 downloads. 1 is for the Etendard, 2 is for the Rafale. You want the Rafale as well because otherwise not all of the weapons will work for the Etendard. So the first link is for the Etendard, and I'll give you this link in the video description. Click on that media file link there, then click download and it will download. Same with the Rafale, click that link there, click download and that will download. We will be given these 2 RAR files. I believe you need WinRAR to open them, starting with the Super Etendard. We're going to right click on it and we're going to select copy files to clipboard. We're then going to paste that in our saved games area. So for me, that's going to be C drive, users, me, save games, DCS open beta, yours may just be DCS, mods, if you don't have the mods folder, put it in there, aircraft, if you don't have that, put it in there, right click and paste, and mine's already in there as you can see. We're then going to repeat the process for the Rafale. Right click on that folder, copy files to clipboard, back into here, right click paste, and we get these 2 guys here. That's it downloaded and installed. Next, let's get into DCS. I'm running the latest open beta version at 11 March 2021. From the main menu, let's go to Options, Controls. Here we can select either of the aircraft. SEM is the Super Etendard and Etendard 4 is the older variant. We have to set them up individually. Regards setting it up, it is, as far as I can see, identical to setting up a flanker, an SU-27 in DCS. So, rather than me showing you exactly how to do it now, please go and watch my SU-27, how to bind joystick controls, and copy that exactly, control for control, and that's how you'll set it up. Once you've done them both, okay to that. Next, we're going to go to Mission Editor, create a new mission on the Caucasus map. Once in the map, we're going to create aircraft group. Let's put it near this base here. There, select USA will be fine. I know it's not realistic, but it'll work. We can have the Etendard 4 there. Make it client. Make it set on the runway from parking hot. In fact, parking cold. New aircraft group. Repeat the process, but this time we're going to go for the Super Etendard Modernize. And on the ramp. Next, let's look at weapons. Both carry the same weapons, at least in DCS. Pylons 1 and 7, we can have the R550 Magic 2, a bit like a Sidewinder. Air-to-ground missiles, the AS-30L, which we'll have a look at. Bit like a AGM-65 Maverick maybe. Bombs, Beluga, GBU-12, which cannot be self-lased, GBU-49, to be honest I don't know what that is, and Mark 84, and rockets, we've got the Mirage type Matra rockets. Pylons 2 and 6, we've got AS-30L again, also the mighty Exocet. In fact, we best arm ourselves up now. Let's take this lot. The Exocet is an anti-ship missile. Pylons 3 and 5, bombs, either a pair of Belugas or a pair of Mark 82 Snake Eyes. I won't even bother with bombs today. And pods in the middle, a Lightning pod, a Mercury pod, which is a bit like a Lightning at night, and a E-Lint pod here. Also, we've got a bunch of pretty cool looking camos and liveries that come free with it, which is pretty awesome. We're going to create another of those aircraft more suited for air-to-air loadout, and then let's save, and in we go. We're in the Super Etendard, and as you can see, this is a flanker variant cockpit. It is non-clickable, so I cannot click on any of the dials, but they work passively. They will show us our airspeed and our ADI and whatnot. While we have our engines off and our canopy open, we can rearm. We can rearm with, in case you are new, that control there. You can then change the weapon under each pylon by right click and then change it and select it. When you're finished, then go to OK. When you've finished rearming, we can start up, and let's have a look at the controls for that. Right shift and lemur to turn on your electric. Engine start to start the engine. Canopy closed to close the canopy. So right shift and lemur. Check the HUD comes on, and it has. Start the engine. Wait for it to spool. While we're waiting, we can close the canopy. You get to around 50%. We're ready to go. Thrust forward. And we can Use the rudder to left and right. Note that this is what we call an SFM, a standard flight model, extremely simple. You can tell when it's an SFM because the ground handling just doesn't feel right, and you can't flip it over, for instance, like you could do with a more precise model. Better be careful here. Okay, I'm going to taxi to the runway and take off. Full power. Pretty quiet in here for some reason. Rudder authority. We're reading in kilometers an hour. Light bit of aft stick. Gear up. That's a airborne. Not much to say when she's airborne. She handles very much like a Su-27 flanker, and that's presumably because she is built on the original flanker Flaming Cliffs 3 module. So let's use some air to ground. We're going to press the 7 key. That puts us into air to ground. We're going to select, as you can see, the AS-30L. We're going to line ourselves up and look for some bad guys. We're going to press the O button to turn on our kind of makeshift, make-believe lightning pod. That screen down on the bottom right. Head towards some known bad guys. All these control methods you're going to be used to from using the free Su-25T mod, so I don't need to explain it in any great detail. We're going to slew our lightning, or our Shkval as it actually is, onto these targets here. We're going to lock one up with the lock button. Everything locked because of reasons I don't know. Because of reasons I don't understand, we're going to have to press the launch override button. So I'm going to do that to get launch authority. LA, as you can see there, again, everything just like in the Su-25T. I'm going to unpause it, pull the trigger. The rather mean AS-30 comes out. Just to make sure. Quite a bit of a weapon, that is. Boom. Very nice. Okay, now let's go and do some anti-shipping. Okay, we're in a new aircraft now. 7 air to ground. I to turn our ELINT pod on, and this is a variant I've equipped with the ELINT pod. You can see we have the Su-25T Phantasmagoria pod system here. Find some radiation contacts. This will only work against ships that are radiating, friend or foe, with no IFF. There's some ships. Let's use our slew to get our TDC onto a bad guy. Let's press target lock. You can see launch is authorized. I'm about 50 kilometers out, and fire. And for the fun, let's send another out. There we go. They're going to act a bit more like anti-radiation missiles than actual Exocets, but you know what? It's not too far away. Presumably, a real Exocet would be sea skimming, but I don't really know. There we go. That's a twin 50-kilometer shot. Thumping great Exocet warhead. Boom. And that is one destroyed carrier. How about that? So that's anti-shipping with a free mod. That's pretty cool. Only one more thing to show, which is a bit of air-to-air. This variant here, I've put a couple of magics on. You can press these 2 button, the 2 key. It's going to give us longitudinal aiming mode. Very simply, you put a bad guy in the middle of the HUD. Wait for a tone. Pull the trigger. Let's look for... There's one. May or may not work. It can be a bit iffy. Can't seem to get a lock. Let's go and get a little closer. Have a look at him now. Can't seem to get a lock. It's just a pretty crappy system, to be honest. Oh, there we go. Look. There we go. Fire. Too close. Just doesn't seem to work very well for air-to-air. One more thing to point out. We do have a night vision set. If we press the 5 key, boom, like that. And you can adjust the intensity for it. There are a couple of controls in the adjust controls. And that's all I've got to show for the free Super Etendard with raffle pack. It's a nice bit of fun, but again, not particularly realistic. I hope that was useful, and see you later.